Question for the day. What was the most important lesson Jesus taught us about our relationship with God? Personally, I think it was the day Jesus taught us to pray, saying, Our Father. He was turning our minds to our relationship with God. God, the loving parent, both mother and dad, for, as God assured us in Genesis, male and female were both created in the image of God. Where does that prayer and that approach teach us in the challenges of parenthood? And there are so many lessons to be learned in life's greatest role, being the parent your children need. My question, was God's greatest challenge also the one all parents face? That of letting go. When we start into parenthood initially, we're so needed. Eating the right things, exercising, getting the sleep, and avoiding temptations while the child grows within the mother. Then comes bathing, feeding, clothing, toilet training, teaching, caring, protecting, advocating for them. So much to do for such a tiny child. They grow, and we introduce them to the world in its riches and its dangers. We take them to daycare and school and the community center. We entrust them to others for hours at a time. And as birthdays pass, the hours grow. And then comes the tough part that accompanies each step along the way. Having the courage and confidence to let them go, to get back on their roller skates despite the broken arm. No summer camp because of summer school classes after failing the math exams, because of choices she made. And what to say when there's no date for the prom because he didn't get around to it in time? Consequences of their choices that you can't solve, but hopefully a learning experience for them. Letting one's children grow into adults, into fully functioning people, means parents no longer determine their actions and their life. They have to step back and let go. Nothing is harder than watching your children fail, your children hurt. But it's one thing when they fall down and skin their knee and you can pick them up and kiss the hurt all better. With independence comes personal responsibility for getting to work, living apart from the family, paying the rent, planning for the future, and keeping out of trouble. The ability to indulge in things your parents warned you about, protected you from, is all part of that. Choosing to drop out of school, or join the circus, or take the inheritance that Granny left, hoping it would finance university, squandered on a year bumming about the countryside. Options unlimited, and their choice to make. Growing wiser and independent doesn't happen overnight, and mistakes happen. Prayerfully, they turn out to be not too serious. After all, it's one thing when they lose their job and their ego is shattered. It's a whole other matter when they get pulled over for a DUI accident. How does one respond to the call to bail them out? The instinct to protect goes into full flame, but you can't fix everything. If you do, you stunt their growth forever. Eventually, we all have to take responsibility for our actions. Someday, Mom and Dad won't be around even for conversation over dinner. But letting those children take that freedom and responsibility for their own, well, it's one of life's greatest challenges. We did it. Why can't we let them? In the story of creation in the Garden of Eden, God provided a rich and beautiful home for his innocent children. And Adam and Eve walked and talked with him and delighted in the culmination of his creation. But the time must have come when God accepted that man and woman were in a rut, lovely though it was. They were even less adult than the beasts of the fields. The animals at least bore their offspring and nursed and trained and protected them, and then let them go to continue the life cycle. No doubt some died, whether in battle with another ram, in birthing the next generation, or in a flooded river. But the world continued to turn as it ought. And undoubtedly God saw that that too was good and right. And just as some of our children live the lives we dreamed for them, or at least that's all they tell us about, others we will fret and worry about, their lost jobs, dreams, and marriages. We will celebrate successes, commiserate with failures, be an ear when they want to evaluate options in the next election, or move afar, or take on a high-risk mortgage. Eventually, we get to worry about grandchildren and all the greats that will follow. It's the natural rhythm of life. But just as in the lives of Adam and Eve, letting them choose freedom to leave the protection of childhood and childish ways, so must we release our children and encourage them to go. Children need to learn on their own the consequences of saving or spending, planning for the future or enjoying the present, shopping at the dollar store or in Burke's, the local mall or Eaton Center, learning the difference between what is needed and what is merely wanted, how to plan for the future and all those decisions about marriage and family. Or does independence rule those out? At least for now. Those are the big questions in life. An apartment or a condo, a house or a cottage, choices that set one's feet on different paths. Not always the choices their parents made, nor the ones those who follow will choose, nor the ones we'd make for them. Life well lived in God's eyes is the goal. The paths are many and the choices unlimited, but the freedom that comes with the loosening and then releasing the chains that bind and turn them into tissue paper links that adorn is the gift of life that only those who love wisely and well will give. So may it be, and so may you do. Amen. We learn to pray to God as the Father. How does that interpret into lessons on parenting, on letting go, in leading and teaching, and all the other things one takes on in becoming a parent? Is it that in that personage, God really understands our woes because he too shared them?